What's up, guys? Another Simpole video here. Now I have sections 7 and 8, which brings me to an overall total length, I think, of 30 or 32 feet with the Sim Ultra Hi Mod 6. So now technically, I guess it would be a Sim 8 now. Hopefully, I will, within the next couple of weeks, maybe 2-3 weeks, I'll have Sim 12, because I got some four-story work. I would love to have those sections. I I love this pole. I love it. It's pretty slick. I have a mini now with the plus sections, the high modulus plus sections in between. It's there was just way too much flex at height. It's just the pole, just the bow in the pole is unbelievable. When you're pushing up on your upstroke, it was just you're losing all your force there. But I guess technically you're kind of getting the job done. But this pole, just the rigidity and the lack of flex on the upstroke is pretty awesome. All of my force, not all of it, but I'd say a higher percentage of my up force on the upstroke and downstroke is being applied to the glass at height. I have an 18-inch Tucker brush, the Alpha on the end of this pole right now, a GoPro, and my aluminum Tucker rinse bar, 18-inch rinse bar. So to give you a kind of a perspective of what kind of weight is on the end of this pole when you see it from the top down or from the bottom up. That way you can kind of get an idea why there's a little bit of flex there. With the 12-inch brush on it, you barely even, there's no deflection at all when you're lifting it off the glass. It's pretty cool. What I like about the Simpole is the way you can add on to this pole, and everything is universal with Philip. You don't have to, there's not different generation. Everything works with everything. Your Kevlar sections will, if you wanted to buy Kevlar sections for the bottom, you know what I mean? Like, hey, I want to add sections to my pole, but I like the idea that Kevlar's coming out. Maybe I'll buy the Kevlar 9 through 12, and later on I'll buy the Excalibur and add that all together, and boom, I've got a full Kevlar pole. So, and that will, your Kevlar pole and your Ultra High Mod poles are interchangeable. That's slick, man. Very smart on Phil's behalf. Every one of these poles is it's got, each section is numbered: Simpole Ultra High Mod 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. I'm fairly certain Philip does all that himself. Philip puts these poles together himself. A guy that's been window cleaning for 50 years. I mean, the dude's in his 70s. He started in his 20s. I mean, all of his experience with water-fed pole is put into these poles. The clamps are awesome. Every other clamp has a loop for your 5/16 hose to go into, built into the clamp. You could see it right there. That little hook, which I'm not utilizing here, is pretty sweet. I think, I don't know, maybe later on in the video, I actually get tired of doing this right here. I was just in a hurry. I wanted to get this job done. It's Saturday, and I just wanted to get the hell out of there. You know what I mean? So I wasn't taking my utilizing the pole to its utmost, but I'm really digging this pole. I'm hoping that I'm able to get sections 9 through 12 so I can give you a video of this thing at almost its maximum work height. It just, as you can see, it's super light, it's rigid. Even with all that weight on the end, there's very little deflection in the pole. I'm not saying there isn't any, but this is probably the more efficient of poles that I've used in my time doing water-fed pole. It's pretty nice as far as fit, finish, ingenuity. The thought that went into the pole, and the less fatigue on my body, just being that, you're getting more of the force towards the window than you are lost in deflection in the pole. and my previous pole with the add-on sections that go at the top and in between and at the bottom. Um, in between those areas, there's a lot of cattywampus going on there, and it's a regular carbon fiber pole. It's not a high mod carbon fiber pole, so I'm not going to say that. But the add-on sections are high modulus, and I think it kind of weighs the pole down. I like the idea, makes sense, but I like the way Phil's doing it. You're not adding anything to the top or in the middle. You've got a super stiff 6-section pole that you're adding sections to the bottom of, and as you're going down, and that's what I like the most about the Simpole is the add-on features. Um, they add to the bottom, instead of in this top and the set, you know what I mean? Because then you're not, when you're breaking the pole down, you can just pull the sections off the bottom, and instead of taking the bottom off, then coming down 3 clamps, taking that off, and then taking the middle section out, collapsing it, and then collapsing it all the way, the next 2 sections down, pulling the top section out, collapsing it down, and then we're putting your first section back in. This is just adding it to the bottom, pull it off as you're coming down. Super awesome. Um, you can see right there, 18-inch brush, a GoPro, um, some funky old windows that have never been cleaned in, like, I think it's been 6 years, because I was the last person to clean these, he said, and I think it was 6 or 7 years. Yeah, it's been 6 or 7 years since these windows have been cleaned, so they're pretty bad. So I'm having to give them a really good scrubbing, and as you can see, there's not really a lot of flex in the pole. I've got plenty of pole left to go up higher. I probably get that next row up above these windows that I'm doing right now with what I've got there in my hands. I can't recommend this pole enough. If you're in the market for an ultra high mod pole or a Kevlar pole, check out www.simpole.com. Philip Alexander he's got a good product. If I can say anything right now, it's the fact that Philip has a very nice product. This pole is super awesome. And on top of that, guys, you're supporting a window cleaner, a guy that cleans windows. Not a suit, and a guy that actually cleans windows and developed a product to make his day easier is now available to you to make your day easier. And you got to appreciate that. I know I do. That's one of the things that turned me on the most about buying a Simpole to begin with is um, the fact that it's from a window cleaner. I dig that. You got to appreciate when somebody does something for a living and then develops a tool while doing that job. You got to appreciate that. I know I do. Um, so if you're in the market for a pole, check this out. If you got somebody near you that's got one, or you can take my word for it and watch me as I go. Maybe you're not ready this year to buy a pole. Maybe it's something you're going to do next year. Stay tuned to my channel. I'm going to get sections 9 through 12, and I'm going to put this pole through its paces over the next year and give you guys updates on it as I'm using it. I honestly think most likely I may just add Kevlar sections from here on out. I don't know, or I just may not. You know what? I think I'm just gonna go all ultra high mod just to keep the test fair, and do it all ultra high mod and see what's what. Maybe later on I'll buy the Excalibur all Kevlar. You know what I mean? Maybe I'll do that next year. But this year I think I'm gonna go all ultra high mod and just see how this pole stacks up against other ultra high mod poles. I'm thinking that it's going to do pretty good. Just from using it for the last month, I really enjoy using the pole. I actually look forward to getting out. I get to use the Simpole today, do some more video. This is going to be cool. It's a nice pole. Philip's a nice guy. I will say one drawback that I found, and I don't know if it's on purpose. Maybe Philip will be able to clear this up. The only thing that I found that I'm, it's not a huge deal, but it was just like shit. What the hell? But the clamps were not securely fastened to the actual pole sections themselves, so I had to get out my Allen driver and tighten them down a little bit so they wouldn't spin. But other than that, I mean, I've had no issues. This is plug and play, guys. I mean, you stick a brush on the end of it. He sends you I think it's an aluminum insert for the top with a Euro thread on it. Bam, you're good to go. I think you might even be able to get them in Acme. I'm not exactly sure, but put a brush on the end of it and go to town and make some money. It's pretty pretty sweet piece of kit. Durable, for sure. I'm rubbing it up and down on some uh, limestone caps here. There wasn't scratches on it, and whatever transferred onto the pole came off. I mean, I'm not saying it won't scratch, but it's got a good finish on it. It's a solid pole, and not only that. Not only are all these things about it good as far as durability, workability, adaptability, they're cheap. They're not super expensive water fed poles. They're and as far as price range goes, they're one of the more affordable options. And you could start out small and build your way up. Build this pole towards your business. Your sim pole, you buy it. Say you do residential stuff. You don't have any commercial work. Buy a sim shorty, a 6 section. And, hey, maybe you run in and like, hey, somebody's like, oh, you do somebody's house and they own a building like this. And they're saying, hey, can you do this? And I'm like, sure. All I got to do is go and order a couple of sections of pole from Philip. Boom. A week later, I'm good to go. I've got more reach, and say later on, somebody sees you do that, I'm like, man, I got this 4-story building down here. Can you do that? I'm like, sure. And you go and get yourself a couple of more sections. It's pretty adaptable pole. It's very nice. Philip is, he's passionate about his stuff. I think sometimes he gets a little bit of a bad rap. I think people should have just a little more patience with Philip because he has an awesome product that I think people are missing out on. They're not seeing its full potential because maybe passing a little bit of judgment. But it's you're gonna love this pole. It's definitely something I think that you'll have for a very, very long time. But stay tuned. There will be more with the Simpole. Go to www.simpole.com and check out Philip's poles. He's got a new Kevlar pole coming out. I think you guys will love it. And I'll see you later. Peace.